Listen.
But to tell me I came out with DeAndre Swift over Bijan,
where Jordan Davis just, still play the same.
Yo, what's going on, everybody, man? It's already KingDv in the nest with my co-host, Smitty. What's going on, bro?
Man, episode 11, man, inside it's another one. We brought y'all a special guest, man. Y'all say what's up to Phil, man. How you doing, Phil?
What's going on, man? Guys, man, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to talk birds. First day of training camp. I mean, is there a better? It's like Christmas, but for us old people, it's like Christmas morning to us, man. Football.
Mm-hmm.
So today was a good day of training camp. I heard a lot of good news, man. Jalen Carter looked good. Nolan Smith looked good. Who was somebody that interests y'all today, man, and somebody that intrigued y'all?
I would say off rip, you got to say Nolan Smith. You have to. He took that responsibility, especially with Hassan Reddick having a groin injury. He took that responsibility and basically took advantage of it. He took advantage of it with the first team snaps, second team snaps. He basically got over on Jack Driscoll like the whole practice. So, they just made our offensive line, who's, more up there in age, and especially they do have the strength, but, they were attacking a certain part of that offensive line, whereas though that we need to work on. But I know everybody's rusty. It's still just the first training camp. But, I like what I see out of Nolan Smith, or what I hear about Nolan Smith. Also, Jordan Davis, man. Jordan Davis, it was questions saying that if he was going to be just a run stopper, or was he going to sit up there and, help with pass rush? And that's what we need to see from him. We need to see him, be able to be there on downs where we need him to pass rush, not to sit up there to sit him out because we got to put somebody else there. But like I say all the time, don't sleep on Milton Williams. We didn't hear too much about him today, but he's going to show people, like, he belongs on this team.
Oh, man, you're talking my language, man. I love Milton Williams. I think Milton Williams is one of the most underrated Eagles on this team right now. You're going to see a lot. We didn't hear a lot about him, and you hit on a lot of great points there. I mean, the Nolan Smith stuff, I still cannot believe we got Nolan Smith with the 30th pick in the draft. Like, how that guy did not go in the top 10 or 12 of the NFL draft. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I hate doing, like, redraft things like 5 years later, but you're going to see 5 years from now when people redraft this year's draft class that Nolan Smith's going to be in that top 5, top 7 because he's that good. You hit on so many great things. I actually was super curious, like, in a non-overreactionary way. I was curious to see what Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts said before and after practice today. How often do you hear about a football team losing the Super Bowl and then the next year struggle? So how are they going to set the tone? Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a huge Jalen Hurts guy. I've been believing in him since day one at Alabama. I've been a big Jalen Hurts fan. But Nick Sirianni, I still think there's question marks. And I think if you watch a lot of the highlights, you read all the beat reporters there about how Nick Sirianni was handling his business today. I mean, he had the big bullhorn. He was calling out guys, every mistake, every penalty, every little thing. And I wrote down a quote because I was prepping for my show for tomorrow. And he said, and I quote, "Our goal is this minute is to get better. It's not to get to the Super Bowl. It's to get better this minute." They're not worried. The last year's Super Bowl was last year. This year's a different year. a lot of the same players, but there's new players. Totally different season. And he's really
Mhm.
running it. I mean, it's just one day, one comment, but he's really focused on the moment and now, and not living on past success. And I really like that. And hearing, ESP and Chris Franklin, all the beat reporters talking about how he was so adamant about every little mistake that was made. That's what impressed me the most today from day one's practice, is that tone being set right from the get-go.
I heard AJ Brown say it best. They asked him, what's the goals for the team? And he said, we ain't got to talk about it. Everybody in this room know the goal.
Right.
Like you ain't got to speak on it. It ain't got to be a point of emphasis. Just put it in the back of your head. And every week as we go 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, you remember the end goal is to be the N1 standing. Not 2, 1. But you got to start week 1 at training camp. And today was magnificent, man. I liked it. I liked the fact that a lot of guys were getting reps, and Jalen Carter came out and really showed what he was working with. First snap of training camp, he come off the ball, sacked. Then Nolan Smith with his reps, he chased Mariota out, would have been a sack. Chased Mariota out again, caused him to throw an interception. Like, these boys came
He fumbled
to play.
too.
Yeah,
He fumbled too. Yeah.
these boys came to play.
If you want to have an overreaction from day one, it's that Marcus Mariota ain't a good backup quarterback.
Well, the first one when I said he would have sacked him, it was a sack fumble.
Yeah.
It was a sack fumble, yeah.
But you can't
Mariota
touch him. So
Mariota got sacked. He threw some interceptions today. Mariota did not have a good.
Christian Ellis picked him off again.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was an interesting day. I heard our cornerbacks looked real nasty out there though. Like, I heard it was looking good. So they said if you're a cornerback, it's gonna be a hard cut.
There's a lot of tough questions with those cornerbacks right now, because you got Bradbury, obviously. You got Maddox, you got Kellen Ringo, who they drafted, you got Josh Joby, you got Zach McPherson. There are a lot of tough balls being made with that cornerback room right now. And the question, you got Greedy Williams. He's a veteran in this league, has performed in some big moments. I mean, there's a lot of that might be one of the toughest positions to figure out who's going to be the final cut down guys, as this camp goes on.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we always talked about Kelly Ringo going to safety if we need depth there. But like you said, Greedy Williams, man, I do see him making this team. I don't even know who we will cut. They started out with Josh Jobe in the slot because Avonte Maddox was limited, but at the same time, like, I don't trust him there. In OTAs they had Zach McPherson there, trying to see how he does. And I know they're going to try to switch it up. And well, speaking of switching up, how do you guys feel about this running back by committee on the first day?
I think it's honestly like this, right? Everybody got to get acclimated to the playbook. Everybody need an opportunity to see who the best man is. And the best way to do that is an even amount of snaps to everyone in the room. Let's find out who really came to play. Y'all, everybody tell me about playoff Kenny. Let me see training camp Kenny. Everybody tell me about Penny being hurt. I want to see what he can bring. I don't know if Boston Scott is in the race. They say Trey Sermon is in the race. DeAndre Swift is in the race. So at the end of the day, I want the best production on the field. If it's 3 people, if it's 5 people, if it's 1 man, if it's 2, like, I just want everybody to get an even amount of snaps so you can get a proper evaluation of who on the field, man, because that's the only way you can do it. Right now, you got too much talent in the room to just go out there and say, hey, we're going to give DeAndre Swift 90% of the team 1 carries, and then everybody else is going to get 2 carries. It can't work like that. You got to put everybody behind this offensive line and see who produces best.
But you also got to look between the tea leaves a little bit. And you mentioned Greedy Williams, and then you go to Rashad Penny. If you look at what people say, like Howie Roseman and the assistant coaches, you see that they're still really high on Zach McPherson. You see that they talk about Trey Sermon like every other 5 minutes. But then you look at Greedy Williams and you look at, Rashad Penny, and you look at the contracts that they were given. they're contracts that when it comes down to it at the end of the day, last 5 cuts are coming up. You could cut Greedy Williams and you cut Rashad Penny, and it doesn't kill you.
Mhm.
And they're older veterans, so you're not going to keep a Rashad Penny or a Greedy Williams if they're going to be the 4th running back or the 7th cornerback, because they're veterans. They're going to want playing time. They're going to want to earn their money. I forget which one's which. One of them, it's only like a $600,000 cap hit if you cut them. I think it's Rashad Penny. So if you look about what's being said by the coaches and the GMs and the office people regularly, and you look at the contract early on, and I mean, today's first day. Who knows what's going to happen over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks? But if you had to say it today, I know it's an unpopular opinion. I would think Rashad Penny might be the odd man out in that running back room right now.
It's looking that way, to be honest. But he did get a lot of reps today, though.
They all got reps today. Even Trey Sermon had some reps with the ones. I mean, they literally had all 5 of those guys have a few snaps with the ones today. And I think that's great. It's great to fully be able to evaluate those guys. And I love running back. I love running football. I mean, I grew up with the old school Eagles where they didn't have a running back, and I always wanted that running back. They got quite a few guys right now that could tote that ball back there.
Somebody said, "Nah,
Sirianni.
I know.
So that's what I was about to say.
I know it's unpopular, man.
No, I don't know, because I see Boston Scott in the special teams. I think they're going to utilize him more there, unless we do deal with injuries in the running back room, and then he's going to pop in. Giants games. He the Giant killer, so he can play there. Trey Sermon. If Rashad Penny is out, I do see him as the 3rd running back. I do see that. I can see that. But I don't see Penny. I don't really see Penny off this team. I just don't know. But you can't keep all those running backs. You can't. So somebody has to go.
You can, because one of them goes to practice squad. You orchestrate Boston Scott as your 7th receiver and your 5th running back, and you put him in special teams, and then you keep Kenny Gainwell, Rashad Penny, and DeAndre Swift as your active running backs on the depth chart. So you can keep them all 5. I mean, you could. What is the purpose of keeping all 5 of them?
You're not keeping all 5. And I know, again, I try to look at things differently. I try to bring a different opinion to the table. Trey Sermon, the 49ers cut him. I see the other comment from Eagles Nation.
Yeah.
Man, the Eagles cut him. He came out of college with a lot of hype, and he just couldn't crack that running back rotation in San Francisco. The way the Eagles are talking about him, he won't make it to the practice squad again. Let me tell you something. Do you think if you cut Boston Scott, and again, he's a favorite of Eagles, he kills the Giants, etc., Boston Scott will make it onto the practice squad? Because it's not like teams are going to be busting down your door to get Boston Scott. He was a free agent this offseason. Nobody wanted him. We brought him back on like a $1 million deal, because he's a veteran. He knows the system. He kills the Giants. That's it. Other than the Redskins and Cowboys, no one's going to look at Boston Scott because of his, attachment to the Giants right there. So, I don't know. I think it's going to get creative, and you're going to see the biggest surprise cuts are going to come from that running back room right there.
Yeah. I think the running backs and the cornerbacks, that's going to be a tough call, especially for Howie Roseman, and see what they want to do there. But it's all about winning football, and you got to put people out there that's going to win. So, what else did I wanted to touch? I had a question.
Before you get into it,
Christian,
shout out to Drew, Eagles Nation, Stu,
Drew's my man. I love Drew.
Dev 10, Nana K, and Miss Ash. Appreciate y'all for popping out. Go ahead, bro. Get into it.
Christian Ellis did have a good OTAs. He did have a good first day of training camp. Do you guys think that with him actually playing the way, if he continues this route, that he could be that linebacker depth that we talk about, or do you think we should still get somebody else?
I mean, if on the first day of practice, I still think we need somebody else. I'm not going to overreact on him, on the first day of camp. But that's why, I mean, you look at Chauncey Gardner-Johnson last year. When did we bring him in? August 20th. 3-4 weeks into camp. You're not going to see, because linebacker and safety are two positions where you need a lot of depth. You have a lot of unproven, like Ellis or, Reed Blankenship or Sidney Brown. You've got guys, Morrow, who's the other linebacker right now. A lot of unproven guys. You're going to give them 2 or 3 weeks worth of practice. And then in 2 weeks, if you think Ellison's the guy, then you're good. But in 2 weeks, if he's making mistakes, if he can't, figure out the playbook, then you're going to look at the depth position. You're going to wait 2 weeks at least till Howie makes a decision on whether to bring in. I see somebody saying Miles Jack in the comments. You can say him. You can say the other dude from Tampa Bay. What's his name?
Devin White.
Devin White. You're going to see a lot of those names pop up, but you're going to wait at least 2 or 3 weeks before you make that decision, in my opinion.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I think anything that's coming in that's a big impact move is a wait and see move. You have to see what you have before you make a drastic move. Because you don't want to bring a guy in and then he's dominant, but you had a guy that was breaking out the shell and kind of getting into the groove. Now you move him out, then it messes up chemistry, all types of stuff. So you wait and see what you got. Like last year, we only brought Chauncey Gardner in because they said our secondary looked like shit.
Yeah, and Drew, they did. Howie did mention it because that was the question for him, and he said basically he's looking at every position, but linebacker is one of those ones that he knows that we're thin at, so he's going to be looking.
I think Patrick Queen.
We are like more than just. I mean, you think about it. It's Ellis. It's N'Kobe Dean, who I don't know about you guys. I'm super high on N'Kobe Dean. I love me some N'Kobe Dean, and then you got what's his name, like Murrow or Burrow or whatever. Murrow. I don't want to know his name because I don't think he's that good. But that's all you got. I mean, you got Nolan Smith listed as a linebacker, but that's it. You know what I mean? There is no linebacker depth on this team. But that gives someone like Ellis so many opportunities over the next 2 weeks to shine, to stand out. And when you got a front four with like we had with Nolan Smith, Reddick, Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Fletcher, I mean, we could just keep going on with all these names. It makes the linebacker's job a little bit easier.
Phil, I think you should watch a little of that Murrow tape though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I seen him on a 25-yard fly route cover Waddle. So I might I'm gonna give him a little bit because he might can play that Kazir White role a little bit better than Kazir played it last year. That's all I need.
If you give me Kazir White level, I'm happy. I mean, I thought Kazir White and TJ Edwards were slightly, and I'm not trying to knock them. They were slightly overrated last year. They did good, but some people go out there and say those two guys were like these stud linebackers. They were what they were. They were good. You know what I mean? And if you can give me equal value to Kazir White, that's good for me. That's all you need. When you got a defense as talented as the Eagles have up front, you can have average linebacker play and still be great. You know what I mean? That's how deep this Eagles front is.
So
what do you guys think? Oh, go ahead. What do you guys think about bringing back Deion King? Like, do you think it's something there, or you just think that it was just to see what he got?
Camp body all the way, man.
Sorry,
I don't buy the Paul Turner syndrome kind of thing. Everybody loves who's the next Paul Turner guy, man. Yeah, Dean, whatever you want to call him, Kane, man. Yeah, no. If you don't know Dean Kane, then we can't be friends, you know.
Well, today, I don't know, because today you need camp bodies. You need somebody that's gonna take that bruising and get out there. So,
absolutely.
That's the type of guy you put out there, man. Unless something has clicked that didn't click last training camp, he's going to be a camp body. I mean, if he was gonna be here, he'd have been here last year, right? He was here.
He's a practice squad. He's a USFLer. He's an XFLer. He's not, everybody gets so enamored with the random guy at wide receiver every single year that, flashes like a great catch in camp. I don't know about you guys. I try not, like, I'm overreacting because today's the first day, but realistically over the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'm not going to overreact to anything. You know what I mean? Like, you got to take each little play with a grain of salt.
Right.
So I got a question for both of y'all. What's the cornerback wide receiver matchup you want to see? I mean, I'm looking. Listen, I know it's funny, but I'm looking at Josh Jobe versus Olamide Zaccheaus. They both kind of got to prove a little something to me. I want to see a little something, and I want to see how Josh Jobe really, with one of those twitchy dudes, getting those, inside those numbers and making a couple cuts. I like to see that, and then I like to see I'll take Quez Watkins and Zach McFisher since they playing him in the nickel.
Well, I mean, I don't think the matchups there really excite me. I think just the two wide receiver names you mentioned itself, Quez, and I can't say his name. I've been practicing his name for 3 weeks.
Olamide Zacchaeus.
I just say OZ. OZ versus Quez Watkins. Who's going to be the number 3 wide receiver on the team? So you just put them both against Josh Joby and see who wins.
No. I said Josh Joby versus Olamide Zacchaeus.
Yeah, put them both against Josh Joby, see which one does better, and that's the guy that becomes your number 3 wide receiver.
I kind of disagree only because it's the situation. You know, Quest is still, you know, he's a fast guy and he has a lot to prove this year. I think I think I'm one of the only ones that got hope for Quez Watkins. After those drops.
OZ
in the moment,
OZ's faster than Quez. Go look at the numbers, man. He ran like the fastest 40. He ran like the fastest 40 time in like the hit, like in the last like 5 years or so. Like his speed is actually way better than you realize. From what I read when we signed him, he's like actually like quite a bit faster than Quez.
But see, he does better route running than Quez.
That changes some things right there. If they're the same speed like that.
I didn't know that, and I think it's only because how
I'd be looking it up right now.
Yeah.
I have to look this up here real quick, but I'm almost positive he is actually faster on paper. On paper doesn't mean he runs better routes. On paper, he's faster.
He ran a 4.4.
Mm-hmm. But Olamide does, in my opinion, runs better route than Quez. Quez is more of the
he's also
take off the top.
He's got some really great career stats. Like if you look at his stats over his career, he did pretty well in Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like it was just a bad situation in Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta's been bad for 2 years now. So, you know, you got to give him that a little bit too. That he's got an opportunity to shine. The only thing that's in Quez Watkins' favor is that he's been here for how long, and he's got that, you know, connection with Jalen Hurts. And, you know, I know we crush him all the time, but Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni still have faith in him. So that gives him the slight edge there. But I'm curious to see how that plays out, that battle there, because I still think we need an upgraded wide receiver 3 or 4, but they both can prove themselves very worthy of that spot.
I think it comes down to who's going to catch the ball. Let's be real.
Yep.
Can you hold the ball? Can you be secure with the ball? And it's gonna help Quez because he does know the playbook. He does know the coaches. He does know, you know, where Jalen Hurts want to put the ball. It's small things that he has the upper hand, but how good is Oz at just adjusting? Because I heard somebody say it today when I was watching the Unscripted, the new one, the episode 1, and he said we're professionals. The only thing we can do is adjust. Mm-hmm. So I need to see if, you know, because I heard in OTAs, wait, before I make this comment, in OTAs, did Quez or did Quez not drop a wide open touchdown pass?
He dropped wide open touchdown passes everywhere. I mean, he's fumbling ball. I mean, he's.
Oh, he did in OTAs. He did.
He's prone to big mistakes at big moments. That's the thing with him.
I think I don't know, man. It could be sad, but Quez could be wide receiver 4 when we come out of this.
I'm not mad at that at all.
I misspoke on the speed. Quez Watkins is like 0.09 quicker in the 40, but the thing was, it was he's the only NFL receiver in the last 3 years with at least one 45-yard touchdown catch in each of the last 3 seasons. That was the stat that popped off the stage for me. You know, was his ability to catch the long touchdowns. So he's got a 93er, he's got a 45er, and another one that's over 45 there in the last 3 years. So he's catching one big bomb every year. Quez Watkins catches it, then fumbles it. That's just Quez Watkins' MO right there so far.
Something that stuck out to me in camp also was the usage of Dallas Goedert more in the goal line, scoring. I think that in the passing game, I think that that's a great thing to have, especially if he's going to try to stay healthy this season. That you're not relying so much on Jalen Hurts down there. You have another option down there. You do have slants. You do have the route running of Devontae Smith, but you want to have that other option. Whereas though, if the running back's not there, they can't get there. Or if Swift is not there, you have Dallas Goedert that and he caught 2 touchdowns today. And I would like to see him more against these linebackers, testing the linebackers pass defense. That's what I want to see. If we're going back to the original question with the passing, I want to see that more because he's going to test them. He's going to test them to see if they're ready. I think that was one of the big issues, especially that first drive. I would like to bring it up, but the Super Bowl when not Tony Gonzalez, wow. When Travis Kelce actually scored, that whole drive, the linebackers, they kept switching. So it's like we try to see where they're at with it. We need a coverage linebacker, and we thought Kaiser White was that, but we see what happens.
So one of the points you just made for me that we right quick, the Quez versus Alameda, right? That part about getting inside the zone and being able to sit down and be a target, that's something Quez has not shown me yet, but Alameda does. He did a lot of that for Mariota last year when Mariota was being, poor at the quarterback position and really needing to check down, man. He was finding a lot of those little spots. And he helped Desmond Ridder. Tight ends and slots are a quarterback's best friend when you need help. So, I mean, in that aspect, I think Alameda has a hand up because he knows how to get open in those zones, like a Wes Welker and shit.
And you mentioned Dallas Goedert. Didn't Dallas Goedert have a touchdown catch in practice today? I'm pretty sure I saw he had two touchdowns today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the thing with Dallas Goedert is, like, Dallas Goedert legitly could be one of the best, not the best because that's Kelsey's, Kelsey's the best tight end. But if Dallas Goedert could stay healthy, I don't know about you guys. I think he could be one of the top 3 tight ends in football. But the problem is he's never
I already think he is.
But he missed 5 games 2 of the last 3 years. 12 games over the last 3 years combined. To me, availability is everything. And he's not available all the time. And I know we won most of our games when he missed. He's not like Lane Johnson numbers where we always lose when Lane Johnson's out. But the thing is, you look at that offense when when Dallas Goedert's not out there, it's not the same. If you could keep Dallas Goedert healthy, he could be such a target in the red zone and make, like you said, so much pressure off of Jalen Hurts and all that running that he had to do. I mean, I would love to see Jalen Hurts have more touchdown passes and less rushing touchdowns. It would make me so happy because then you'd be putting so much less risk on Jalen Hurts there. But Dallas Goedert, he's just got to stay healthy. I mean, we always talk about Joel not being healthy and all these other athletes in Philly that are never healthy. No one talks about Dallas Goedert never being healthy. So,
he gets a small pass, I guess, somewhere.
I don't know why. I mean, just because he's hanging there, you know what I mean? I don't know, I love the guy. You can see he's hanging behind me, man. I love him. I want him to be great. But, man, the guy's got to be out there, man. He's never out there.
Hey, Stu, chill out, man. We ain't got enough to keep stats on, man. We ain't got enough going on. It's the only football we got.
Speaking of like availability, and I tweeted. I think I tweeted it, or I said it in one of our Twitter groups. Avonte Maddox, right? How do you guys feel about him? I know that they were saying that he was recovering from surgery on that toe, but how do you feel about him not really being available when we need him?
I feel the same way he just said about Dallas Goedert. Nobody talks about Avonte Maddox not being healthy, not being available. The best ability is availability. I don't even know the stat, but I'm pretty sure Avonte Maddox has probably missed the same 12 games Dallas Goedert has.
I don't understand anything else. What this guy's saying right here. I mean, like, I say it on my show every single time, man.
He's not on the field, bro. And then last year he missed 2 stints. It wasn't one.
It was crazy. 2. Yeah, and it was crazy that they were old roommates at one point. That's the crazy part, and it was like, wow, like he's hurt, and now he's hurt. Like it's like you can't keep them on the field for nothing, and this is a key to winning because you need those guys, man. A decent slide. If we have a healthy Avonte Maddox, we would have the best cornerback trio the whole year, not just when they're all in. But the whole thing about it is just health with him, man. It's
Listen,
I don't know because I don't want to see. I don't really.
And Dallas Goedert are 100% healthy. Both of them can insert themselves as top 5 in their respective position on the field, though. But when you take 15 games in 3 years, 12 games in 3 years, and you're not there for those games, how can I put you in a respectable position in the rankings? I can't, because I can't evaluate what I didn't see. You weren't there. You and then like with Dallas Goedert, it's always something like nagging injury too. It's never like, oh, he's out for one game. It's like 2, 3, 4. Like if he stays healthy, bro, Dallas Goedert is in the same tier as a Kelsey and a Kittle. Like he up there with TJ Hawkinson's and Mark Andrews. All them boys can be, but they're healthy. He's not.
He's more talented. He's more physically gifted than all of them. But he doesn't stay on the field. And Avonte Maddox the same way. I mean, you think about it, we talked about Zach McPherson. Zach McPherson should be the backup to Avonte Maddox, but he's always backing up, Darius Slay, because Darius Slay's healthy, but he does miss plays. Like every single game, Darius Slay's out for 2 plays here, 3 plays there, whatever. But now that you got Kelly Ringo, if he can perform in camp and he can be your outside guy that's backing up Slay or Bradbury, now Zach McPherson can do what he's primed to do, play the slot. And if Avonte Maddox goes down, you might not see Avonte Maddox come back because Zach McPherson, from what you hear from what the team says, Zach McPherson can play that slot. So, Avonte Maddox better keep himself healthy.
I like Zach McPherson in that slot, bro. I like Zach McPherson.
I do.
I thought he was a slot coming out.
I've been hard on him till I started reading up that he's supposed to be playing in the slot, and he hasn't been playing in the slot. You get Ringo, you get the other guy, Hick, or what's the other guy we
Ricks, Eli Ricks.
You got those guys now that can fill in that outside spot. Now Zach McPherson can go where he needs to be. The true back spot guy.
Do we keep 7 cornerbacks this year?
No.
Yeah, no.
I doubt it, man.
Okay, so look, you use the draft capital on Kelly Ringo. You got Zach McPherson. You got
I gotta write it down to figure it out. I gotta write it out here. Hold on. Slay, James Bradbury, Maddox,
Eli Ricks, Kelly Ringo, Zach McPherson, Greedy Williams, Josiah Scott still on the Josh Jobe. They all on the roster. It's a lot on the roster.
I put down 9 cornerbacks. This is why Greedy Williams is out, in my opinion, because he's not expensive. He's a veteran. He's also often injured. He's just like Rashad Penny, Greedy Williams, always injured.
Yeah.
Well, he kind of got screwed. He kind of got screwed, Phil. He gets drafted. Then the next year, you go draft a first-round corner in the same spot as me. And then the head coach comes in. He benches me because he likes the guy in front of me better.
It's not his fault he went to Cleveland, but he just got screwed by going to Cleveland, period. Who wants to go to Cleveland anyway? But you think about it, I think you could get Ricks possibly on the practice squad at first. You might have to protect him some weeks so that he doesn't get stolen by somebody else. But I think you could possibly get Ricks on the practice squad, maybe. But you're looking at Williams, Scott, and Joby. 2 of those guys are going to go. Or you're going to have to hope one of those guys.
I think Scott out for sure.
Unless you could somehow transition one of those guys to safety, because you've only got 4 real safeties on the team.
I think that's what we do with Keely.
What?
That's what I would want.
Ringo,
I've heard
safety.
people talk about that.
Because I think Justin Evans is out.
Yeah, it's possible.
See, he's a casualty right now.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of casualties in the secondary period. Like I got crushed the other day because I said that the defensive backs and the safeties, it's all one. It's not all one, but what I was saying is there's so many toughness. There's so much extra there. There's going to be tough decisions to make there.
Well, it's going to be even tougher, Phil, with that 1-day cut too.
Yeah.
That's going. Listen, I think a lot of people going to make some mistakes, and you're going to be able to capitalize if you know the player.
Yeah.
And people going to pick up some jewels out of that cut.
You might see 3 of these guys get cut because some other team makes a mistake and cuts somebody. That's better than right there. So you never know. And that's why, like I don't know about you guys. One of my biggest beliefs with talking Eagles, I refuse to make my record prediction until the roster's set, until right before week 1, because you don't know how many moves this team's going to make between now and 4 weeks from now. You know what I mean? And Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was the prime example last year.
Well, I'll give you an update. Like I'll give you one now, and I'll call it my early prediction. Then when we get a roster and it's set, and I can see what I'm really looking at, I might even move around what I'm looking at. Yeah. Like your early
like
one,
right now, because just like right now, like I'm working on just like we just talked about the 53 early prediction for the 53-man roster. You know, to see if I'm right, but you know, it's content to talk about, and then the 53-man roster. Now I can say, okay, what's y'all thoughts about it? You know, I could talk more about what I think about who got cut. You know, who's going to be a good player in the NFL if he gets picked up. You know, that's the things that we can talk about. But I'll use it for content.
But how big is the practice squad?
Do, man. I'm just saying
the practice squad, Phil?
It don't count till week 1, man. The predictions don't count till week 1 at all, man.
Phil,
I know that's why you get your accurate one.
How many people go on the practice squad?
Anymore? I think they last year. They upped it. What is it, like 14 guys or something like that?
So you got to cut 23 guys in one day.
Something like that, man. It's insane with the new rules and all.
Because everybody keeps saying 37, but that's why I asked what is the practice squad? Because you got to think 14 of those guys are going to be practice squad guys, and then the other 23 got to go.
You got to go.
I don't know why I don't know this. I should know this. Right? I'm embarrassed that I don't know. It's 16 players on the practice.
16. Okay,
I already know.
It was 14.
I already know Ian Book is going.
Yeah.
You think Ian Book out?
Yeah, he going.
I think he has a coach, man. He that's my bold prediction. Ian Book will stay at Eagle and become a quarterback coach next year.
Hold on, I have to rethink this for a second. Was he traded for, or do we pick him up as a free agent last year? Because if Howie Roseman traded,
I think we got him off waivers.
We got him waivers, then okay, then he might be the one cut. If we traded a pick for him, then Howie Roseman wouldn't give him up because Howie hates, giving up on that asset.
Yeah.
But if it was just a waiver pick, yeah. I mean, dude, if we worry about the third string quarterback, man, we're in trouble, man. You know what I mean? Because if Ian,
I'm just thinking about one guy that I know for sure.
You're starting to add these 20 plus guys up in your head.
I haven't done the research in a while. I don't know where my old notebook is from last year, but I used to do it, and I'll do it again in a couple of weeks. It's trying to track what the Eagles' first 53-man roster was over the last 5 years. How many of each position they kept. And if you do that, then you can get a better idea for predicting what the 53-man roster is. I got my own notebook, but there's like 300 pages of notes in there. Sorry, I can't figure that out real quick. I don't know, I take notes, old school notebooks, man. That's what I do.
I see.
I take notes before shows. I take notes before shows, man. I make sure I keep receipts for everybody in my notebooks, man. I don't go anyway.
Shout out Eagles Uncut.
Yeah, I don't know
what he's taking shots, man. He got a BB gun. He's shooting at that star, man.
Yeah.
What's up, man? Hey. I spent a lot.
It don't matter about what goes on over there, man.
Dak Prescott today on my show, so I'm not taking any shots on Dak today, man.
Look, you heard what I said. I ain't even say his name. I left it alone. I was just like, he's shooting at the stars, man. He's just shooting for the stars.
It's all good, man. He ain't gonna throw 10 interceptions this year because he's gonna throw more. And he ain't going to win 10 games either this year. He ain't going to get that far. They're my jokes every day, man.
I like how he said, "I'll do so many shots and then throw the shots right into." That's funny. That's funny. But yeah, I did see the highlight.
I'm a Dak guy. If he was on any team but the Cowboys, I'd be a Dak fan.
Yeah, anybody would. Like I could see him taking the Saints to the playoffs.
Absolutely.
I could see him taking a lot of teams to the playoffs, but he's a Cowboy.
Put him on the Raiders with Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs, and he'd be a stud out there, man.
He would, but I don't think that would be that's a tougher task, I think, out there.
You gotta go AFC.
Especially with the division.
Division, yeah.
Division, yeah.
So okay, who's the biggest question mark player then on the team for everybody in here? I think it's Barnett for me. Can he stop committing these dumb penalties? Can he just play clean football? And can he earn a contract with another team? Because this is it. This is it. It's the last rodeo.
Look, if you're worried about Derek Barnett, then again, you're worried about the wrong thing. Because if Derek Barnett makes this team, and I'm a Derek Barnett fan, I think he gets penalties based off a bad reputation. Some of his penalties aren't really penalties. You know what I mean? So Derek Barnett is like the 53rd man on this roster. Like, so you don't got to worry about him. My biggest question mark, and is again unpopular, it's because he has to. TJ Edwards, Kazir White, how many tackles they have last year? Something like 259 tackles last year. Who's taking over as the main guy at linebacker right now? Nakobe Dean. And I'm high. I love Nakobe Dean. I'm high on Nakobe Dean, I should say. I'm not high. Can he replicate what TJ Edwards did? Can he replicate, what Kazir White? Can he, in his second year when he played, 20 snaps all year, get that Mike linebacker spot and lead? You have to be the leader of the defense. I think he can. You guys probably think he can. You're shaking your head, yes. But can he? Until week 1, we'll have no idea. And that is my biggest concern this year, is can Nakobe Dean be the leader of that defense like he has to be week 1?
Well, I've seen a small sample size. I seen more of him than I seen in Barnett last year. The last time I seen Barnett.
This much of a sample size, man, and Nakobe Dean. We've got nothing. He played like half a game of football last year when Kazir White went out.
I'll take it right now, right? That'll give me hope enough.
Right, but it's a concern. It's got to be concern.
Are we doing because y'all both of you guys? I'm sorry to cut you off, but both of you guys did defense. Are we doing defense and offense?
You do whatever you want.
Defense and offense. We can do defense and offense.
Okay. You do what you want.
You can do defense and offense.
All right, so I'm gonna pick defense. I'm gonna go with big question mark. I'm gonna say Morrow. Man, because you really don't know, what you're going to get out of him. Like I said, who was the guy that we got from Chicago last year, and we thought he was going to be it because he had like 20 seconds. Yeah, Robert Quinn, and look what happened. So we don't know. He says that he has talks with Sean Desai. So he did say that he was comfortable in this defensive scheme. So I just want to see how that goes about. But I do have questions, like, just how Phil said, these guys last season had over 250 tackles. He has to pick up. He's a vet. Nakobe Dean, yes, he's supposed to be the leader of the team and everything. But at the same time, this is his second year. First year, he didn't really play that much. I think he would sit up there and lead by example just because he has familiar faces around him. And I think that if Sean Desai is smart, he would try to include some of that familiar defensive schemes that they normally run in Georgia, so they can sit up there and be comfortable in the scheme. But those guys is locked in. I don't really have too many questions about Nakobe Dean. I just want him to get the reps. But Morrow is the guy that I'm looking at to see if we really do need to go after a Patrick Queen, a Miles Jack, guys like that. Whereas though that we can kind of mask Morrow if he's having issues.
So you said offense. Offensively, I'm going probably biggest question mark. It got to be between Cam Jurgens and Rashad Penny. Probably more Cam Jurgens because he's
Cam
smaller.
Jurgens or whoever Cam Jurgens is fighting with for that spot.
Yeah, because both of them haven't played any snaps. So, I mean, it's an even match for me. Cam Jurgens,
Can I ask you a question about Cam Jurgens? Because this is something I debate on my show all the time. Should Cam Jurgens be fighting for that right guard spot, or should he be staying as the backup to Jason Kelce?
I like him as the backup, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, Kelce, he's a vet. How much is he really practicing camp and during the season? Very little. When he's not practicing, Cam Jurgens has got to be the backup center because he's the guy of the future. So he's splitting learning a new position and backing up, the Jason. Like, to me, it seems smarter to just leave him there. Even if he has to just sit for one more year, then Kelce retires at the end of the year. Like, I don't understand
what happens if Kelce doesn't retire, though, Phil.
I know. That's a big if, man. It's a big, big if right there. And Howie Roseman wants to get some return on his second-round pick. I get it. But, you're taking a big risk by messing up with a guy there. You know what I mean?
We've done it before. A la Landon Dickerson.
Landon Dickerson. I got you. I get it. But then what happens if you make him your starting right guard and then something happens to Jason Kelsey? What do you do?
Now you slide Tyler Steen in and you slide him over, I guess.
Yeah, and any reps that. He didn't get any of the reps. I don't know. I'm always torn on that thing there because I'm thinking about now, but I'm also thinking about 3 years from now. You know what I mean? And he's that guy for 3 years from now. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know how I ever feel about that one.
I'm a guy that say that. I'm the guy. Yeah, I'm the guy that said the same thing you guys just said. I think that Cam Jurgens needs to be the backup because Kelsey, man, Kelsey is trying to, especially if this is his last year, he wants to be healthy. He wants to be out there on the field to give it his all. I know Kelsey for years, and you know, after watching the unscripted, the new thing that just came out that we was talking about, Smitty. After watching that, his passion, he wants to be out on the field. Cam Jurgens, yes. Lane Johnson was on record basically saying that he did not want to play next to a guy he prefers a bigger guy, and I think Tyler Steen is that guy. But you got to give him the reps. I think that, you know, if he's not getting as many reps as Cam Jurgens, he could cause a lot of penalties and cause us going, you know, backwards with this explosive offense that we have. So, you know, I want him to, you know, get the kinks out early. And then, you know, when we get to that bye week, now, you know, he's in a groove, whereas though that he's not allowing, and he's learning off of Lane Johnson too. So it's a win-win there. I do understand a lot of people saying that Tyler Steen needs a year at Stoutland University, but at the same time, I really believe that, you know, this guy is ready to play, and you know, we gotta give him, because he's another number 2 pick that we got this season. So, you know, you want to play him. But you know, if that's a battle, Cam Jurgens cannot allow a rookie to come in and beat him for that position.
Very fair, very fair.
I mean, I'm torn now. Now that I think about it in the manner of
I'm sorry to do that to you, man. You know, it's something that breaks my heart every single day, man, when I think about it.
I was always kind of like Tyler Steen, but like, he asked the question last week. He kind of messed me up. Why we don't ask about Jack Driscoll? But today shows me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I got notes in my book here about Jack Driscoll today. He did not have a good day today.
No, he got manhandled by the rookie a couple times in a row.
And I was all about to say that Jack Driscoll should be maybe considered as the third man in that competition. I don't know if you guys remember when we drafted Jack Driscoll a few years ago. He was a guard. He was listed as a guard coming out of college. We moved him to tackle because of need, because Andre Dillard was so bad that one year. But he's a guard by grade, and he stunk today.
Yeah, he did. And I was so pissed off that I was like going back on videos that we did, and we was talking with Philly Mike, and I brought up Jack Driscoll, like why he not mentioned more, and I understand now. I understand now because it's a reason why he didn't, you know, he wasn't even considered even before we got Tyler Steen. He wasn't really considered as a starter at that right guard position. They was considering already to moving Cam Jurgens over even before that. So it's a reason. It's just a reason that he's not on the field more.
Cam Jurgens is going to be the guy. He's that talented. He will be the guy at right guard, in my opinion. But I just don't agree with it long term. The one thing I think you guys can agree with this one thing. It don't matter who's at right guard. Having Lane Johnson on one side and Jason Kelsey on the other side, bookending whoever's at right guard, we will not skip much of a beat losing Isaac Seumalo because you got the best right tackle and the best center on either side of them. So at least you got that going for you there to pick up the pieces and help coach the players on the field along.
I noticed we got a lot of offensive linemen on the roster too.
I love offensive linemen. Yeah. I call it the trenches.
Yeah, he said that he was going to stack up on the offensive line. He said that's, you know, we always did that by the book. So, you know, why not continue that? You know, don't go away from your identity and what got you to being, you know, contenders. You know what I'm saying? So, but my question mark is actually, you know, I'm going back to Quez. That's the question mark for me. You know, I want him to bounce back. You know, like I said earlier, I got hope for him. You know, bouncing back from the Super Bowl and just last year alone. fumbling the ball, having the ball, tap your hands and basically going to the other team. But yeah, Quez Watkins got to step it up. If he can't step it up, then I really don't want to. In my opinion, I don't want to see him on the field as much as Olamide Zaccheaus. But then where does that leave you? Or if we do decide that we need a linebacker, question: would you sit up there and trade a pick in Quez to the Ravens for Queen?
Depending on where we at with Quez at that point.
It depends on what pick you're talking about and who's going to be the. So if you trade away Quez, here's the problem: you trade away Quez, OZ becomes your number 3 wide receiver. Who's your number 4 wide receiver?
A UDFA?
And that's
a UDFA?
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. Or
you got to find somebody else.
We could trade him. We could try to trade him to the Cardinals for Buda Baker because a lot of people are talking about this Buda Baker thing a lot.
Yeah,
even though I don't see it happening because of the money.
Yeah, I'm over the Buda Baker thing. I was all for Buda Baker, man. I was, but man, I think you got enough with Sidney Brown. I think you got enough with Reed Blankenship and Terrell Edmonds that you don't got to worry about Buda Baker at this point. I see a comment, uncut, man. I'm all for him, man. Jarvis Landry, man.
Yeah.
Go get me some Jarvis Landry. He could be my 4th wide receiver, and I'd be extremely fine with that. 100%.
He's a good screener like Zach Pascal did for us.
I don't want another Zach
too.
Pascal, man.
What was wrong
I'm
with
just saying it worked.
Like 10 passes, man.
I'm just saying it worked. It worked.
8-yard passes. Lord Jesus. I need somebody that's.
Is Greg Ward still on the team?
Yes.
Man. He did have that. A couple seasons ago, in practice he had that great catch, and then we didn't hear about him ever since.
Greg Ward is Mr. 20 catches for 42 yards. Guy no separation, and I think my one leg can outrun him.
Lord Jesus. I don't know what. I don't even know how Greg was our number one at one point. Like
dude. I mean, I don't want to make this about Carson Wentz, but just think about 2019. Everybody got hurt in 2019, and Carson Wentz led us to the playoffs with Greg Ward and Boston Scott, 2 nobodies at the time. Literally got us to the playoffs on that. That's shocking to me.
Eagles uncut. Is he really better? I mean, is he really? Jarvis Landry? I mean, is he really much better than Zach Pascal?
I mean, maybe not
at this point in the career. At this point.
I mean, he might be a better route runner, maybe a better pass catcher, but he ain't going to be a better route or blocker or anything like that. He ain't going to do. Jarvis Landry won't do the dirty work that Pascal did. He won't play special teams and stuff like that.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not really sold on Jarvis Landry, but I mean, if we can bring a veteran in, I'll take Julio.
What's Julio any better than Julio's going to cost you $10 million more than Jarvis Landry?
Julio coming in on a veteran minimum, man. He don't want no money. He just want to chill.
I don't trust Julio. I don't trust Julio.
I don't need you to play. I don't even need you on the field. Just stay here, stay healthy, and then when I need you for 3 plays, come in and do your job.
We don't need that, man. We don't need that, man. We need somebody.
Give me more than 2 games like Deshaun Jackson gave me in the last 4 years of his career, and I'll be happy.
Hey, go get Deshaun Jackson right now. He's still available.
No.
He retired.
He's 2 and out.
Dude, let me tell you. You know who could still give minutes on the field and still run a couple routes? My boy T.O. He can.
I knew you were about to say that.
He'll give you something, man. Okay, we're gonna go off the rails. We might as well go completely off the rails here.
I mean, I would take Julio though for outside receiver help. We don't have much outside receiver help though.
Just think about it. If
we don't.
God forbid, knock on wood, that AJ Brown or Devontae Smith gets hurt. Hopefully not.
Mm-hmm.
But just say one of them gets hurt, we're screwed. There's nobody to step into that spot. Nobody to give you the production that those 2 guys give you. That's how good they are. In my opinion, 2 of the 10 best wide receivers in football right there.
Mm-hmm.
So at least, hey, look, can I get a top 20 of all time receiver and put in that spot? I mean, I know he's a little old and washed. Top 25, Julio.
I don't know, man. I
just need you here. I don't need you to play unless the inevitable happens, though.
Just let him sit off to the side. Just
I got a question for you guys. So our boy Devontae Smith was ranked at 100. NFL players. Now, I'm not saying that he's not supposed to be low because, he's just, he's a new guy and he cracked 100 or whatever like that. But can you name three wide receiver twos better than Devontae Smith? I know he's better than some ones.
I can't name 10 wide receivers, period, that are better than Devontae
Better
Smith.
than him. Right.
I've come under a lot of fire and a lot of praise. I will say this. I'm a huge AJ Brown fan. He's a specimen. I mean, he is just like T.O. reincarnated. But Devontae Smith is a better wide receiver than AJ Brown.
I always say that.
At the end of this season, everyone will agree with me that Devontae Smith, I mean, AJ Brown's a top 10 wide receiver. Well, so is Devontae Smith. And he will be ranked higher in everybody's books at the end of the season than AJ Brown. That's how good Devontae Smith is. He runs better routes. He high points the ball better. He blocks better. He does the dirty work better. He does everything. AJ Brown, I mean, he's stronger than everybody else. Yeah. That's all he does. He just out-muscles you for the football. Devontae Smith, he's the real deal. I mean, in 2-3 years, he might be a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL.
They gotta do like Garrett Wilson in front of him. That was kind of killed me. Like, what the hell did Garrett Wilson do last year?
Dude, let me tell you something. Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, the Jets, they are going to stink this year. I'm the only person under 7 wins for the Jets this year, man.
Under 7.
Under 7. I've had 6 beers, but yes, under 7 wins. So, dude, no, all joking aside, the Aaron Rodgers stuff, like, it's just going to blow up the Jets' face. And Garrett Wilson is a talent, but he needs to go to a team that can maximize that talent. It's not the Jets. But the fact that Garrett Wilson's ranked higher than Devontae Smith is literally insanity. It is complete and total insanity.
I think Devontae Smith is better than Terry McLaurin. But they got him over him.
Absolutely. He's better than Brown. St. Brown's ahead of him. Who else? Yeah. There's plenty of guys that are ranked ahead of him that shouldn't be.
But y'all know why he had 100, man. He wear that devilish eagle on his jersey, man.
Who?
Devontae, they don't like us. They don't like eagles. You think we get respect now? We never got it before.
You see what they did to the cornerback, the other corner, not Slade, Bradbury. You see what they did to him?
Or something like that. Insane. He had the best passer rate. He was the best cornerback with opponent quarterback passer rate in the league last year. The best. He's not even going to crack the top 100. Yeah, it's a common thing. We always get insulted. It. Always something's held against some silly people. It is what it is.
They're gonna pay for it though. It's okay. Okay.
Exactly. When we're back in the Super Bowl in February, everybody will be making excuses again, as always.
Yep.
Who you think we play? Who you think we play this time?
Man, I actually want it to be the Chiefs again.
I do too.
I'm over last year, but I want to be able to beat them because I still think Patrick Mahomes is the best. I think Andy Reid's the best coach in football right now. I already think Patrick Mahomes is a top 5 quarterback all time. And to be the best, what does Ric Flair say? To be the best, you gotta beat the best. I want to beat the best, and I think Jalen Hurts has the mentality to beat the best. So that's what I want. I want the Chiefs. It could be the Bengals, it could be the Bills, but I want it to be the Chiefs, man.
You want the Chiefs too, huh, DV? I see it on your face.
No, I want the Bengals.
You don't want revenge?
I want the Bengals.
You don't want sweet revenge?
No, because so I wouldn't mind it. Like I said, I wouldn't mind it because I do want to get that revenge on Andy Reid. It's not so much about Patrick Mahomes. It's about Andy Reid, because that fourth quarter hurt, man. That fourth quarter hurt. But I just think that it would be a better matchup. And then we get to see who's better out of them two. Because they're basically saying that, Hurts went to the Super Bowl, lost. Burrow went to the Super Bowl, lost. So now it's like, okay, you put them against each other. One of them got to lose. I think that would be an exciting game. Like the Chiefs and the rivalry was just the Kelsey brothers and Andy Reid coached both sides. It wasn't really so much something, but these guys, the two of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league, they going against each other in the Super Bowl. Yeah, one of them has to lose. So now it's not no question if you got Hurts third or Burrow second. Now it's like, okay, he beat him. So now you got to put him there. So I would want to solidify it like that, but I would not be mad if he goes there.
Can I ask you a question? I mean, we talk about Andy Reid and Joe Burrow. Do you want to see the Eagles and Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts versus Doug Peterson and the Jacksonville Jaguars at some point in a Super Bowl? You know, our former coach, the guy that got us our one title. You know, Trevor Lawrence. Mm-hmm. I think Trevor Lawrence by the end of this year is a top 5 or 6 quarterback ranked in the NFL. I love what he's got. And Doug Peterson's a super. I don't know. I just want to get, you know, that I just think that's intriguing, that matchup against our old coach there too, that actually got us that Super Bowl. I think that's a really interesting matchup right there in a Super Bowl.
So you went Kansas City. Mm-hmm. You went Joe Burrow and the Bengals. I got a good one for y'all. I want the Bills.
Where's Manchester?
Do you know why? Do anybody know why I want the Bills? I'm the only team in the NFC East that ain't gave you an L. I need that on my resume.
Dude, I got this one guy that watches every single morning show of mine, and he's a Buffalo Bills fan. I don't know why he watches my show. I don't know why, but he just sits there, literally 40 comments a show. Just Buffalo's great. Josh Allen's great. It's nonstop. Drew in the comments, you know, the Observer, they watch my show all the time. They'll tell you, man, Chatter and his Bills love, he would love you saying that right there.
No,
you won't be mad at that, Drew.
Hold on, he won't love it.
I won't be mad at that, Drew.
I want to keep you winless. I don't want you to get anything. I want you to hurt some more. You're 0-4. I want you 0-5. I don't want you to get nothing. I want you to feel some more pain from the NFC East. I'm the only team that didn't give you an L. And I was close to giving you an L in the 90s. I was close. I was one game away. Mm-hmm. But it's really the Chiefs, though.
It's got to be.
But to switch it up,
it is the Chiefs. You do want to get them, and yeah, I know we played them in the regular season, but it's not going to hit the same. No. It's not going to be the same. You got to have them in the Super Bowl again, and it got to be the rematch. Now we got something to talk about, you know. And yeah, we see them. I don't see Jalen Hurts and the Eagles and Nick Sirianni losing again. I don't see that at all.
Oh, breaking not news! Be as close breaking as it was. John Ross retired.
Who?
John Ross. Wide receiver. Remember, he had the fastest 40 time in NFL history. Came from Washington. Drafted by the Bengals. He just got picked up by the Chiefs.
Racking my brain who this guy is, and I'm like, okay, gotcha.
He got picked up by the Chiefs early in the offseason, and they said he just retired.
True, I'm right there with
you. That's crazy.
Hey, John Ross is supposed to be an animal at one point.
Yeah, at one point. Was supposed to be.
Injuries, man.
So
injuries,
I don't know if you guys are up against the clock or anything like that, but I got to ask you, what did you guys think of the Justin Herbert contract last night? And all these contracts are coming in bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'm coming under a lot of flack because I've been very critical of Justin Herbert.
What did he do to get $262 million? He has no playoffs wins.
He blew a 30-point lead at halftime in the playoffs last year. Counting playoffs, he's 25-25 in his career. And he just got $262 million. I'm shocked.
He shouldn't have got that. I don't think he should have got it. I think he should have had to earn that money this year.
I agree. I've been getting a lot of pushback on social media for that.
Well, Joe Burrow finna make a good killing too off of it.
Yeah. So my question is to you guys to combat that question, because this is how I think. I think that these high contracts is going to hurt their team more than help them. So do you think that with Burrow, is it a good thing for him to get a higher pay than Justin Herbert?
Who?
Or the Bengals should, try to construct it.
They're gonna do like what we did. They're gonna make him highest paid, but the money gonna be stretched out so they can play the rest of them. Because you gotta pay like T. Higgins, you gotta pay Jamar Chase in the next 2 years. I mean, this year you gotta pay Joe Burrow, and then next year you gotta pay Jamar Chase.
I see something that if they can't get the money for T. Higgins, he gonna be out of there too. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
It is. It really
That's
is.
Crazy.
I can't get over the Justin Herbert contract, man. I just can't. A guy's 25-25. It's not like he's 5 and has potential. He's played 50 games and is exactly 500. If Justin Herbert put up 25-25 record in Philadelphia this show right now, we'd be crushing him. We'd be saying that Howie Roseman better go find another quarterback. We'd be saying, what is Howie Roseman doing giving that contract out? Yeah, Justin Herbert, because he throws a good pass and can throw the out pass really well in practice, gets $262 million. It drives me nuts.
What about Trayvon Diggs?
We run him out of there.
Not to speak on their name, but what about him with the 5 years, $97 million?
I mean, he's a really good cornerback. The problem is you've got one of the best tackles in football holding out for more money, but you're going to pay your flashy cornerback instead of the guy that protects your quarterback. That's just my thought.
And
like, I think he's worth the money, but I think you've got somebody else sitting there that deserves that money more.
Don't you got to pay CD next year?
You do.
Then Micah the following year?
Y'all pay Micah?
You do.
Yep. And then what you doing with Dakota Rain?
Oh, you got to pay Dakota at the end of the year because he only has this year left on his contract. If he plays good, do you have to pay him top money? Do you have to make him the top paid at that point?
I think they made a big mistake there in Dallas, but that's good for them. I'm glad they made a big mistake there in Dallas. I don't know about you. Every mistake in Dallas was great.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm definitely watching from the outside with a good giggle on my face.
Yeah, giggle is right.
Right. I didn't say nothing because they were looking for us to say something. I wasn't going to say anything about it. I wasn't going to say congratulations. I wasn't going to like it. I wasn't going to do anything on Twitter. But I just think that they had to make that mistake. They had to because they couldn't afford to let him walk. They couldn't. So they had to make that mistake. But at what cost, though?
$20 million a year?
Now, yeah, they had to, though.
That's a hurt, boy.
Yeah, it is. And now you're going to put yourself in a situation that you got to pay people. You have to. You got to pay CD. You got to pay Micah. You got to pay that. You have to.
Oh, you got to pay Martin, too. Don't leave Zach out.
Zach Martin, too. Yeah.
I love that last comment from Miss Ash right there. I swear we have the best GM, man.
We do.
We do. And I don't know about you guys.
We do.
5 years ago, I was ready to run that man out of town. I couldn't wait to get rid of Howie.
I think everybody in South Philly was. Everybody in South Philly was.
Has there
before
ever
the Super Bowl?
Before the Super Bowl. I'm saying, has there ever been a Philadelphia personality, athlete, GM, coach, anything that we were so ready to run out of town that is now turned it around like completely like Howie Roseman has?
Well, he has been ran out of town before. Don't forget.
But that wasn't by that was by Chip Kelly. That's a totally.
He sent to the basement.
Yeah,
and then he came back, and then
became the equipment manager for a little while.
So if you really think about it, he really didn't have a long stretch where he was trash.
His draft picks were pretty bad for a long time.
I'm saying he picked up in what, 2015? He picked back up in 2015, 2016?
15 or 16. Yeah, he picked back up.
So if you think about it, we won the Super Bowl in 18, so he only really had like a 3-year stint. We really harsh as fans.
We are actually very harsh.
We didn't even have a long stint. 3 years and we wanted him out of the house. I remember because I was in the boat.
Yeah.
Like I was in the boat, like, hey, look, you really had to do it right.
You're all there.
And then Alshon Jeffrey, to me, I hated the move. I was like, why did we get old, slow Alshon? When there's so many other people out, and then it worked out. So
yeah, he was a baller, man. He was a baller, especially on that Super Bowl run. He was a baller.
Yeah, but you see what happened after the Super Bowl, after the drop catch. You seen exactly what he was made of. Mm-hmm. All that cortisone started to wear off, and we started to see the real Alshon. we started to see them brittle bones and all the injuries, and he fell off the cliff fast, but we was holding them together. So we're talking about the top 5 quarterback, right? So where is, I'm trying to think of the best way to put it, because where is our, can we talk about the quarterback? I'm trying to get it right. I want to say the right way. Where is our quarterback room at this point? Is everybody okay with what we have? Is Mariota okay? Is Ian Book and Tanner McKee okay for everybody?
It depends on how many games Jalen Hurts is going to miss. Jalen Hurts is going to miss a game or two. He's just going to. The NFL quarterback cannot stand up to 17 games, especially when you're Jalen Hurts the way he runs. If he misses 1 or 2 games, I'm perfectly fine with our quarterback room. If he misses a lot of games, we're screwed. But that's the way it is for every NFL team for the most part. Jalen Hurts is the second best quarterback in the NFL. You lose that, you're screwed. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who your backup is.
I was listening to WIP on the way home, and they were really talking about Mariota, like going back to overreacting, to the training camp. They was basically saying Mariota is not it. They don't think that if they had to put their money on him being in the same position Gardner Minshew was in last season, that we not going to win those games either. Like we were supposed to get better there, and they feel like it's like at the same level. But I don't. I think that Mariota is what he is. He's a backup quarterback. I think that we got the right offense around him that he can flourish in. Take his time. Do those type things. Yeah, he wasn't brought here to, like, if God forbid something happens to Jalen and he has to be in the game. He wasn't brought here for that. They was going to protect the asset of Jalen Hurts, but also make sure, like that last game that we probably not going to really need in the season, he's not going to play that game. If he tweaks his ankle again or something else happened, he's probably going to miss that game, or a game or two there. So if need be, I do not want Jalen Hurts to be at a point where he's playing a game that we're trying to get the number 1 seed. I wanted to have it locked and sealed, and then let Mariota finish the rest of the season out. As far as Ian Book and McKee, I think McKee's going to be the third quarterback. Now, if we do keep Ian Book, he's going to be on a practice squad if you want to do it that way. But I think Tanner McKee is the better quarterback, in my opinion. So I don't really see nothing really wrong with the quarterback room. I just do want to see a lot more or hear about Mariota. I am going to go August 6th to the open practice, so I am going to be watching that too. But yeah, I don't have any issues with the quarterback room right now because everything falls on how many games Jalen Hurts play, how healthy Jalen Hurts is going to be, and then also we all know, especially with this schedule, it's not going to be a lot of close. It's not going to be a lot of blowouts, and then we sit in the third into the fourth quarter. We're going to have to fight some games out. So I don't see Mariota doing nothing but really giving some pointers to Jalen Hurts, something that he's seen, and seeing where we go from there. But overall, I'm happy with it.
Hey, shout out to 803. Man, he said today I had a dream. The Eagles won the Super Bowl versus Miami. That would be a great storyline. And Jalen Hurts be Super Bowl MVP. How crazy would that be? Everything's a dream, but this is a possibility.
I would love it. Hurts beating Tua, getting his revenge for stealing his job at Alabama. Dude, I don't know, but guys, that's when I became a Jalen Hurts fan. When he lost his job to Tua in Alabama, I instantly became a Hurts fan, man. Because I hate when you lose your job because like that, and man,
he didn't get the opportunities either, Phil. Like, somebody actually made me look at the numbers. He only got 8 throws in the first half. Like, how can you say your quarterback isn't performing? He's 2 for 8.
Yeah, dude. When was it? The 2 years after that, when he was at Oklahoma and they faced in the first round of the playoffs, dude, I was rooting for Jalen Hurts in that game so bad, just because for some reason I just attached that Jalen Hurts personality right from the get-go. And that's why I'm just so happy that he's our quarterback at this point.
I would love that matchup.
Let's hope Tua.
It's exciting, man. But I don't think Miami's got a chance.
Tua, no, I don't. Like I was saying, I don't think Tua's going to take them over that hump. I just think that a lot of people say he's injury prone. I don't think he's injury prone. I just think that the concussion just comes to him, and now he's got to be thinking about retirement. I don't want to. Well, who's the old quarterback for the Colts that had to retire early? I don't want it to go out like that.
Luck.
What's his name?
Luck.
Yeah, Andrew Luck. I don't want it to be like that.
No.
So I am rooting for the guy, but I don't see it being a Super Bowl with those guys in it. I can see them getting to at least the AFC Championship if they get some good players over there that's not named Tyreek and Waddle that can actually, they can benefit from. I know they was looking at Dalvin Cook, but Dalvin Cook didn't want to sign that 2-year, $8 million contract. So, but overall, I don't think that it's going to be the Eagles versus Miami. The three teams that we named, I think that they have a better shot. But it's going to be tough for them as well. I wouldn't be mad if it's a bird Super Bowl with the Eagles and the Ravens. I wouldn't be mad at that either. It wouldn't be.
No, it don't excite me at all.
Nah.
It don't give me any excitement.
Well, it could.
It's a lot of running around.
On how. Yeah, because you already know national sports media is going to pipe it up to the point where it's two running quarterbacks and all that. Just like they try to throw in, the first time it was two black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. They're going to pipe it up.
Absolutely. Oh, the storylines for media would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
That storyline would be crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that Tua matchup, if that could ever happen, that would kill.
I mean, I never fathomed it before happening in the Super Bowl, man, and I'm excited.
That would kill everything negative anybody has ever said about Jalen Hurts. That goes back that far. You kill all that narrative. You kill it all.
Oh, I'm excited for it. I want that now.
You got to give him a clean slate at that point. I beat the guy that y'all said made me less.
Yeah.
Shut up. Let's move forward.
Let's go. I love it. I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
Oh man, this gonna be a good one, man. This is gonna be a real good one. I really look forward to the ride because we haven't been in this predicament in a while. We haven't been in a team where we really were like confident and we were actually sitting like everybody talk about other fan bases. It's a lot of fan bases that their slogan used to be is always next year. I never really remember the Eagles being that way,
right?
Because we're so hard on the players, we can't ever really be comfortable. And this is the comfortable as I've been as an Eagle fan. Like, I'm really locked in because I feel we are set up for the long haul. And everybody locked up. We ain't really in contract holdouts and all that bull junk. We haven't had nobody suspended for gambling yet.
Right.
Jesus. How do y'all feel about this, man? People, what's going on? Is somebody snitching?
Nah, what with the gambling?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty basic, man. Are you stupid? Just don't gamble or get your friend to buy a freaking burner phone for you. I mean, it's like when these guys get caught gambling, they're told day one, rookie symposium, you just don't do it. There's rule 101. First rule, you don't do it.
Because it's a lot of rules to doing it, right, Phil? It's a lot of rules to doing it.
Yo, you're making millions of dollars. Grab some money on the Mac machine, give it to your friend, have him buy a burner phone for you, and make him place the bets. If you need to gamble that much, it's really that simple.
And don't pull out the exact amount.
Yeah, it's really not hard to figure it out, man. It's not. I don't get it, man. It's got better stuff to do than break that rule. They're going to suspend you, man. It drives me nuts.
What you think, DV?
I think somebody snitch. I think that's what happens. That's just me being honest.
I heard isn't the NFL tied in with the FBI?
Is this a
I don't know. I don't know.
No, I heard they have for their backgrounds and stuff like that. They have it's not as FBI as FBI. We ain't doing no closed content shit, but as far as just checking people out, being able to do background checks. If you have that much power, I'm pretty sure I can find out if you're gambling.
Dude, there's not many organizations in this country more powerful than the NFL right now. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It is one of the biggest organizations in the world. There's a lot of powerful people in that. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. Just don't bet on football. It's that easy.
Yeah.
Ooh, Jigga got a point.
Well,
what's going to happen when they catch one of these Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert guys up there?
Yeah.
They're going to sweep it under the rug.
They're going to hide. You already know it's a business. It's business.
It's business first.
You already probably got busted.
You're not going to even hear about it.
It's business first.
You don't think Patrick Mahomes'
This
girl
is first.
already got busted, gambling on the Chiefs? Come on now. I mean, that girl
See?
can't get off her phone, you know?
What you're saying, DV? My bad.
What do
I ain't mean to cut
what
you off.
do what do y'all think about their running back little meetup? And then Saquon taking the $1 million hike.
Saquon. I mean, that's
Well, Nick Chubb said it best. It's a 7-year CBA. There's nothing we can do about it if we're not going to hold out. And everybody's going to lose money in a holdout. So guess what Saquon did? He said, okay, I'm going to go sign this deal for $11 million. Next year, he didn't even take, he didn't take the what's it called? He didn't take the tag.
Oh,
So
no.
next year, the tag goes up.
Mm-hmm.
He'll end up making like $13 million next year. He'll end up making $24 million. He'll end up making what Derrick Henry made in the last 2 years. Will he get the tag though? The question is, he's playing an iffy game. What if he doesn't get the tag?
Exactly.
I think he kind of screwed himself a little bit there.
Huh?
I think he screwed himself a little bit there.
Yeah,
he didn't get him. He got $900,000 extra, but not guaranteed in incentives. That Giants could easily. He's banged up. We're not playing him week 16 or 17 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna make this big stink and then sign for $900,000 extra, and he could have had. It would have better for him if he got
million, right?
contract, said no franchise tag next year. Because what's one more year at $13 million, like you said? When next year, if he got it into the contract that they can't franchise tag him anymore, he could have got a 2 or 3 or 4 year deal versus $25, $30 million. So I think he screwed himself by holding out and like giving in too easily.
But they offered him 13 and some change, 14.
Yeah, I thought he was going to take like how Zeke did a couple years ago. I thought he was going to take that route, and hold out long enough for them to, by like week 6 or something to say, hey, we're going to pay you here, you get your money, and then you're playing. But he did it too soon. He did it too soon, man. You got any questions or anything lined up?
I was
keep talking
thinking
ball?
about what you just said. Like, I like talking. I like talking ball, man. So let me check the notes here because I had some stuff written down. You know what I'm saying? So, we already went over. Day one, we went over Jalen Hurts. We didn't even talk about neither one of us talked about the coordinators. Like, what are we doing here? We didn't bring up Sean Desai or Brian Johnson.
So this is gonna be like one of the last questions. I know Phil got to get out of here.
Okay.
How do you guys feel about what Howie said about not Howie? I'm sorry, it was Nick Sirianni that said it. He basically said that the offense is going to look the same, but the defense is going to be different. Like, what do you think he meant by that?
Well, you got an outside guy in Sean Desai that hasn't been here before, and you got Brian Johnson who's promoted from within. Brian Johnson had a lot of impact on the offense last year. I mean, what did Jalen Hurts say today? He's been connected to Brian Johnson since he was 4 years old. So those two people, those two guys, they know each other inside and out. They're not just boss or like coordinator and coach, quarterback. They're like family. So they know each other. So there's not going to be much change there. Sean Desai is completely different than Jonathan Gannon. He comes from that Vic Fangio tree. You guys, not you guys specifically, but everybody else was always complaining about Jonathan Gannon not blitzing. Well, Vic Fangio style of doing things is even less blitz happy. So you're going to see a lot of changes in this defense a little bit. It's not going to be a bad thing for sure, but I worry about Sean Desai a little bit. You look at his 1 year as defensive coordinator with the Bears, 2021. I know Nagy and that whole coaching and that whole team was a disaster, but they did not have a good defense in 2021. Not at all. So there are question marks there. So you're going to see some changes, but you're going to have to see whether, those questions can be resolved.
What about you, Smitty?
I think we're gonna be all right, man. I think the defense is obviously gonna look a little different. I just found out, it's just a different scheme in a sense because I didn't know he had 4 years under Fangio, so the defense is obviously gonna look different.
Yeah.
like I told somebody yesterday, Gannon kind of opened a book, read a nice passage, and was like, "This is the passage I'm using." And he put it down. He liked the scheme. He tried to fix it. You have a guy in Desai who has that actual hands-on knowledge with this scheme. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's gonna look different, but I think it's gonna look better.
What Uncut Eagles there said, that he says it's not going to be as conservative as Gannon. I think it's actually going to be more conservative than Gannon. But the thing is with Sean Desai, he's been known to be a better in-game adjuster. What the game plan is, well, it's not working, we could switch it. That Jonathan Gannon, he's like, all right, this is what we're doing. Whether it works or not, we're doing it. That's the difference. But Sean Desai is going to blitz less. It doesn't mean we get less sacks. I mean, how little did we blitz last year? We had 70 sacks last year. People all often link how many times you blitz to how many sacks you get. It doesn't matter. If you've got the front five that we have, you can still get after the quarterback with Reddick, with Nolan Smith, Brandon Graham, whatever. But it's going to be even less or even more conservative next year.
Well, Phil, I want to say thank you for coming out, man. I appreciate you, man. Tell the people where they can find you at so they can get some of your good content. And
dude,
then,
I'm hyped that Drew and some of the other people that are on the morning show with me every single day we're here, man. I love that, man. But yeah, so I do a morning show every single day, 8:15 a.m. It's on Philadelphia Sports Network. It's called Trending in the AM. Got the shirt on right here. Always got to be promoting yourself and all. 8:15 a.m. And all we do is this. We just start one topic and just see where it goes. Wherever the comments take us, every single day, Trending in the AM, Philadelphia Sports Network.
We'd like to thank you for coming out, man. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we can get you back in immediately, once some things going to roll in out. Man, hey, y'all, if y'all in the comments, man, go check Phil out, man, and like, comment, subscribe on his content, man. And tell him Smitty and KingDv sent you.
Like that video, man. Like that video. Hit that subscribe button, man.
Appreciate you,
Phil.
Yeah,
subscribe to me. Yeah. All right, Phil.
Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, man. So what you think, man? Overall, how you feeling about the team? You think that I know everybody's excited that football is back. We got content as content creators. We got content every single day almost. But how do you feel about where the team is at? The defense is going to outplay the offense, especially majority of the training camp. So how do you feel about that?
Listen, it's an interesting medium, right? Because you want to see both of these dudes kind of push the envelope, you know what I'm saying, to watch the growth. But if the defense can come in and really, really, really outperform the offense, then I like to see it, man, because we got a high power offense. If your defense clicking and your offense clicking and the defense looking stronger than the offense at that moment in time, then how can we not say we're in a great position? You know what I'm saying? Like last year, we had a top 2, top 3 offense. So if you can come in and your defense can click on all centers, that tell me we got a top 2, top 3 defense.
Yes, man. I just think that it speaks volumes to what we did in the draft. The personnel that Howie put together to the point where the defense is still intact. They're still intact, and everybody said you've seen it on the unscripted earlier. Everybody's family there. And they play together, and just like Jalen Hurts said in the video, we only as strong as the next man, the person next to us. We can't sit up there and do it by ourselves. So I just like that mentality. I also like the mentality, and we didn't really touch on it, whereas though that too much about the past year. We're focusing on now, and Nick Sirianni started it off basically saying that we're focusing on the training camp preseason, and then we're going to focus on game 1. We're not going to talk about what could have happened, because the people that was asking the questions, they were just going back towards the Super Bowl. What's different from this team to this team? We got a group of guys that we got to focus on, and basically Jalen Hurts actually came out and said his mental his mentor is not even on the Super Bowl no more. And I know it's all, crazy talk because I know everybody's thinking about getting back there. Everybody. What do you play the game for? But at the end of the day, I understand that, you gotta, lay bricks before you can get a house. So but what do you think about that mindset? Do you think that it should be more of a revenge mindset, or do you think it's supposed to be basically getting everybody on the same page, and then when you get to that point, that's when you try to seek revenge?
I mean, obviously it's a thought, but you can't use that as your only motivation. You know what I'm saying? You have to have something to drive you and make you better. So, if you use, that's how teams don't make it back to the Super Bowl. They're trying so hard to get back. They're trying to do everything right. They're trying to perfect it because they said, damn, especially a team like us, right? 3 points away from the win. If you kill yourself by the 3 points, you never get back. Let's one game at a time like we did last year. We can go 1-0 every week, bro. We can be good. That's all we need. 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. And don't let it be 17 times, because then I'm gonna be uncontrollable in this space. But I think like it's been talked about, it's been spoken about. Everybody know how everybody feel. Okay, let's leave it there. We know what we got to get back to. That's the standard.
And one thing I like, that I didn't know, I was reading it on Twitter, Nick Sirianni yesterday when they was doing, the walkthroughs and everything. They showed up. He basically said that don't worry about being a favorite. We was a favorite in the Super Bowl. We were. We was the better team. But, Mike Tyson was the favorite against Buster Douglas, and Buster Douglas beat him. So that we shouldn't be caring about the favor. We should be caring about, how do we get better each and every day? And I think that's a great mindset to have, especially with younger guys coming in, guys that wasn't on the team last season, because it changed from year to year. This is football. It's any given Sunday, and anything can happen. Anything is liable to happen, man. So I just think that we're in a good headspace, and I think that we need to just keep the thing and not really dwell on the Super Bowl, no matter how much the other teams talk about it, or other content creators of other teams talk about it. We need to focus on this year and then move forward each and every game. Week 1, I just want to talk about the Patriots, even though it's going to be like jabs and stuff like that, but I just want to talk about the Patriots.
Like 1 week at a time is the best way to go, man. I mean, I understand it's one day at a time, but
yeah, we did that. No, we did that last year though. 1-0. We did that last year, and it worked.
That's the best way to do it. Because I can't worry about week 40. We ain't there yet. You know what I'm saying? So right now, we focusing on the Patriots. Well, really, people skipping out. We focusing on Cleveland or whoever come in first for this joint practice.
Joint practice, yep.
We're gonna focus on.
I think it's gonna be Cleveland.
The 14th. I know it's August 14th, 15th, and the 22nd. I know those are the biggest dates coming up. So I mean, focused on that mostly. You know what I'm saying? So we got to see what's going on there to really see what we got, and that's when we're really gonna get the evaluation period. The 14th and the 15th are gonna be pretty much it. So. You know what I'm saying? Anything else you want to get into, bro? We had that hour and 30-minute mark, man. Tomorrow's another big day. I know you're going to be dropping some videos. I dropped a video today, man. If y'all haven't checked it out, man, I just dropped a video about day 1 training camp. You know what I'm saying? This is chapter 1 of the book of 2023, man. Training camp. Got to get training camp.
And I got a lot of videos that I'm conjuring up, man. I got my book finally came. My Eat, Sleep, Eagles, and Repeat, that book. So this is going to be the book that I'm writing in. Well, yeah, I'm gonna be posting up on Twitter. You can catch me on Twitter, KingDv Sports. Even on here, I'm going to do my early prediction of the 53-man roster. I'm going to do day 2 video coming out. I missed day 1 because I didn't want to put it out too late because everybody already touched on it, and then the algorithm was not going look great for me, but I promise you that the video is going to come out for day 2, even if I gotta do it in my car. So but yeah, I'm gonna have videos. I'll pop it out, man. This is a great and exciting time of year for content creators, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
So yeah, man. Hey, so y'all know what it is, man. And, you know, y'all know we here every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Man, don't miss it.
Mm-hmm.
We here, man. We you know, y'all pop out. We gonna be ready, man, to really be locked in. The season is coming soon. You ain't gonna really miss what's going on. It's gonna get popping, man. It was already interesting day one. Imagine what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I got a little
Yeah.
video for him, man. So I got a little video for y'all at the end, man. Let y'all go check out my guys, man, on that new episode of Unscripted, man.
Good season.